Hello Reapers, my name is Scythe, and today we're going to be doing a vlog video to kind of catch you up on everything that's been going on with me recently, because I know that you've probably noticed that my upload schedule has kind of been sporadic, just all over the place lately. A lot of that has to do with everything that's actually been going on, which, let me just start from the beginning, okay? So a couple weeks ago, I ended up pulling something on my neck. I don't know what that was about, but seriously, I am still actually hurting on my neck right now. But thankfully, I'm well enough that I can actually start working and recording and stuff like that, right? But when this ended up happening, I was pretty much out of commission for 3 to 4 days. Like, straight up, I was not able to do anything. I pretty much just sat on the couch and had to apply pressure to my neck so that I wasn't in excruciating pain. Like, it was actually a big problem, and I was getting really worried about it, and then it slowly started to go away, and even right now, I still kind of feel it, but at least I can get work done, as I said previously, right? So that put me back. That, took up a couple days worth of videos that I already had pre-recorded. And because of it, I've been trying to catch up ever since. I ended up kind of having the weekend and everything and trying to catch up on like recording and junk like that. And I don't know. Things were kind of slowly starting to catch back up when I decided to swap over to Windows 10. Uh-oh. So, just to be clear, the reason why I swapped over to Windows 10 is because normally I was using Windows 7. I've been using Windows 7 since I can remember, since I was started doing YouTube and even long before that, right? But I've been noticing that Windows 7 has had less and less support lately, and Microsoft is trying to push Windows 10 with a lot of games that are going to be exclusive to it. More specifically, Sea of Thieves is going to be coming out soon, and that's exclusive to Windows 10 and Xbox One. Now, that game looks amazing, and lots of people have been requesting me to play it, and I mean, I'm down for playing it. That game looks so fun, but for the longest time, I didn't think that I was going to actually upgrade to Windows 10 just for that game, and I didn't. I upgraded to Windows 10 because of the fact that Windows 7 is slowly becoming less and less supported. There's quite a few other games that I've noticed Microsoft has tried to do the whole Windows 10 thing with. Gigantic was a game that originally was exclusive to Windows 10, but not enough people had Windows 10 or cared enough about that game, even though that game was kind of a flop in general, that they had to end up releasing like other versions of it, which I think the whole thing too that they're trying to push with Windows 10 is that Windows 10 is what is actually used for Xbox. Like, the Xbox is running on Windows 10. And because of it, what Microsoft is trying to do, which is really cool, is they're having cross-platform, meaning that we can play games on Windows and Xbox both at the same time. Like, we can interact with other people that are playing the same game. Meaning that when I end up getting Sea of Thieves and starting that series in March, I'm going to be able to play with people that are running it on Xbox, even though I'm going to be playing it on the PC. Now, how cool is that? However, as anybody knows, you're not going to end up running into, smooth sailing, excuse the pun for the Sea of Thieves pirate game, right? Because when you upgrade things on the computer that are already working, they're bound to just not work. So I pretty much spent like an entire day just trying to figure things out and find out what was actually going on with my system. Because first, when I upgraded to Windows 10, everything seemed fine. I was able to record, I tested out all my software and everything, and it all seemed to check out. However, when I ended up trying to do a live stream the other day, I tried doing Roblox, and I was noticing that the computer, for some reason, it was exploding. There was insane latency going on, and I didn't know what it was about. So I stopped the stream, and I went to go and download appropriate drivers and stuff like that, and upgrade things that honestly didn't need updated, but I thought, okay, I moved to Windows 10, maybe they need upgraded because maybe the Windows 7 version of this driver is not compatible with Windows 10. Who knows? Whatever. Then I tried to do the stream again, still ran into the issue, and it was gross, dude. Like, as soon as I would tab into Roblox, it would just be like it was unwatchable. And it was really, really frustrating because I didn't have any idea what was going on here, right? So, ended up kind of stopping that stream again, trying to look online and see if I could resolve some issues, change some of my settings in OBS, which is the streaming software I use, and then I started streaming again for one final test, and no change. However, one thing that I did notice was that my CPU usage was through the roof with OBS, which is something that I'm not used to. And then I ended up finding out further than that when I opened Task Manager that my CPU was running hot at 100%. Like, no matter what, it's even right now, my computer is running the CPU, or at least it says that it's running the CPU at 100%, and certain apps are just taking more and more resources than they actually need to, which I find really, really weird, right? Because it wasn't like that in Windows 7. Windows 7, it would show 0% as being used, and it would scale up appropriately. Because now in hindsight, now that I've come to the end of it all, I'm pretty sure that the reason it says that it's at 100% is it's saying that, it starts at 100% of the CPU usage, and it scales down as more and more CPU gets used. So it's like when it says 1% CPU usage, I think that it means that there's only 1% left. Near as I could tell just from stuff that I ended up reading on the forums. That, or honestly speaking, it's just a visual bug that I'll never be able to get rid of. So pretty much my entire day was just spent trying to figure out what was actually causing the issue. I went through Windows Defender, turned it off, turned it back on, went through Windows Update, turned those off, turned those back on, and ended up going through all sorts of hoops just trying to figure out what exactly was causing the problem. And then I found out that, it had to do with the system and Windows Defender, Xbox DVR, which is like every time you would launch a game in Windows 10, it would be like, do you want to stream this game to Xbox? Press this button. And it's like, no, I don't. I already use Shadow Play, which is way better than your stupid Microsoft one. No, thank you. So anyways, I would go through all of this, tried my best to figure it out, and ultimately just ended up at a dead end. I went and got like all sorts of different drivers, started looking into whether I needed to upgrade something on my motherboard of all things, which obviously not, because the most recent update from my motherboard was like in 2013 or 2014 or something, and I'm pretty sure Windows 10 came out after that, so I don't think it's any issues with my motherboard's capability. However, from what I could track down after going through the the registry and all of this other junk, near as I can tell, Windows Update is having an issue, because every time that I try to kind of like turn Windows Update off and then turn it back on, which is a bit of a process, you have to go through PowerShell and a bunch of other junk, right? And with it, generally, whenever I would restart it, it would kind of say that it has issues. Like if I would go through the troubleshooter for Windows Update, it says Windows Update files need to be downloaded. So I say, okay, start downloading them. But then it immediately says that it's corrupt without actually giving me a proper error message or anything. Like I can't track down what is the actual problem. So going through the rabbit hole of each of these individual processes one at a time was very, very taxing. And most of all, time taxing, as well as just emotional stability. It was just like, yikes, dude, this is such a big mess. So anyways, finally later in the day, I end up doing one last stream. And this time it's like, after everything that I already did, this was the test. This was me trying to figure it out and find out what exactly is going on. Hopefully it's just going to end up just working. Fingers crossed. I already did everything that I could. Even did end up updating some stuff in like Windows Update, despite the fact that it still says that it's corrupt. I still seem to be running the most recent version of Windows. So I don't know whether or not that's got to do with because I jumped from Windows 7 to Windows 10. And also, just before we move on here, I do know that you can do a fresh install of Windows 10 and keep a lot of your programs installed and software and everything like that. Despite the fact that it keeps your data, it actually does uninstall all of your software. When I moved up from Windows 7 to 10, I was able to keep everything installed, which obviously is why there's still issues here. But if I want to do a fresh reinstall of Windows 10, I would essentially end up losing all of my files. Not like data files or images or video files or anything like that. It just means I would have to reinstall all of my programs from square one, and a lot of them would end up losing their custom settings that I've tweaked and adjusted over the years, that it's just like, I don't want to do it. Especially because now things seem to be working. So anyways, there was one last issue that I ended up running into. As I ended up doing that last test stream last night that I'm recording this anyways, some guy in the Twitch chat was telling me, dude, did you have the Windows 10 version of Roblox? So that immediately sparked a light bulb on my head where it's like, oh, I didn't know that they had a stupid Windows 10 version of Roblox, because it's Roblox of all things, right? And that's the whole thing, is I troubleshooted with a bunch of other games. Trove worked fine for streaming. Warframe worked fine for streaming, thus reinforcing the fact that despite the fact that my computer was saying 100% CPU was being used, I wasn't dealing with any actual issues. My computer runs fine, and the streaming software seemed to run fine as well. But when as soon as I ended up loading into Roblox, it was just like exploding again. So, okay, let's just try and get the Windows 10 version. I load up the Microsoft Store, and lo and behold, I click Get Game, and it just doesn't download. It just keeps stopping it for some weird reason. I don't know why. But now it's starting to get late, my girlfriend's hanging out with me, and I'm still sitting here on the computer doing garbage. So I just decide, okay, screw it. I'm just gonna go hang out with her. We went to bed and had a really early night, and I slept very well, right? So now we could hit the same problem again in the morning. And thankfully I was able to resolve most of it. Now, this is so stupid. Like, I hate computers, man. As I look online to try and find a way to reinstall the Windows Microsoft Store, as well as finding, like, I was actually looking for an altogether different issue where I can't sign into my Xbox account on my Windows 10 right now, but it specifically says what the error message is, right? So I looked up that error message, found a YouTube video that was very helpful where he says, here's how you resolve the Xbox issue, but simultaneously he restarts and reinstalls the Microsoft Store as well. So I go through his process, restart my computer before I get to the next step, and my mouse stops working. This thing right here, my Logitech mouse, it just randomly, like, it's not working on my screen. I don't know what's going on. And now I'm sitting here like an idiot trying to browse through web pages and try to find a solution while I don't actually have access to a mouse. And I don't know all the keyboard commands and stuff, right? So I end up looking on my phone, trying to find out a bunch of solutions, all of them of which are just like, take out the batteries and just stupid stuff like that, right? So I say, screw it. I go behind my computer. I plug the USB for the mouse because I have a wireless mouse, but of course it has a USB slot that it takes. And I just plug that into a different slot. My mouse shows up. Hey, kampai. Okay, whatever. That's weird, but we'll just move on and just pretend that it never happened. So anyways, I continue going through the process of this guy's YouTube video to fix this Xbox-specific error, and I go through all of his process, open up the Xbox thing, and I'm still getting the exact same error. Go figure, his solution didn't work for me as far as the Xbox is concerned, but wait a minute, what's this? Suddenly the Microsoft Store, I didn't even click on it or anything, it just opens up in a separate tab beside me, and hey, it's working. I don't know why I'm the Fonz right now, but either way, it just started working. Like, I don't know what happened. So clearly whatever his solution is for the Xbox did end up working for my Microsoft Store, and I was able to download Roblox, get it working. I was having issues making it show up in my OBS streaming software to begin with, but then after a while I was able to get it to work by just capturing the entire monitor, because for some weird reason OBS can't capture the window itself or the game window or anything like that, which if you know OBS, you know what I'm talking about, but if you don't know the program, well, you don't know what I'm talking about. Essentially, I have to capture my entire monitor screen in order to even have Roblox show up in the streaming software, which is dangerous because it means that if I accidentally minimize or close anything, people can see all of the stuff that's on my computer, which it's not that bad because it's just my desktop. But I better make sure that I have anything that's vital information on my secondary monitor so that it doesn't end up accidentally showing up in a live stream. So, hey, it's all working. It's all good. I'm sitting here thinking, I am not, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's pretty much how I approach computers. So the next step that I want to do is now I got to re-disable Windows Update because, again, my computer is already working fine now. I even ended up just doing a Roblox live stream, and I didn't run into any issues now that I'm running the Windows 10 version. So that was probably all it was the entire time, and my entire day was absolutely wasted. That said, it was still mandatory that I ended up going through the process that I did to try and update a bunch of devices and stuff like that. Now, the big reason too, Roblox is one thing, but the biggest reason I was concerned about the Microsoft Store is because I wouldn't have been able to play Sea of Thieves if I didn't have access to the Microsoft Store. Because Microsoft is stupid and they want to keep pushing their own individual programs rather than other stuff that ends up working all right. Because otherwise, when I first installed Windows 10, I had to go through all the settings, turning everything off and changing all of the Microsoft stuff to normal programs, like it's like, oh, use our browser, and it's like, no, switch that back to Chrome, please. Oh, use MSN for your emails. Yeah, right, I don't live in the Stone Age, let me just go back to my Gmail, please. Like, I'm not an idiot. So I had to swap off all of that stuff, try to find out like why Chrome was taking up as much resources as it was, turned off hardware acceleration, blah, 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 blah. You don't care about any of that stuff. The fact of the matter is that everything is resolved now, and I can finally get back to recording and get back to work. So this video, most of all, is just to let you know the process at which I ended up going through, and this is why the videos might be a little bit all over the place right now. Because you gotta understand, I don't have any videos recorded, like pre-recorded right now as I'm recording this vlog. I'm gonna try my best to have 2 videos a day again, but the fact of the matter is that it might be a while before you see Warframe, Monster Hunter, and stuff like that, just because of the fact that I don't have any of it recorded, and those games in general take a long time to edit and render. That was weird. I don't know why my body was attacking me, but that's as good a time as ever to call this video and just say thank you so much for watching, everybody. Very much appreciate it, and thank you for your patience, because it sucks when stuff like this happens, but I just kind of take the liberty now where it's like, I'm dealing with this, so I need to prioritize this rather than prioritizing getting videos out, which I'm still getting videos out every day, don't get me wrong, but man alive, like it was such a headache and so frustrating. I'm just relieved that it's all working now. And again, I gotta try and turn off Windows Update and get everything to just stay where it is so that it doesn't alter or change anything or make vibrations in the water, because it's already all working good, so just let it be. In either case, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, favorite, and subscribe for more daily content. That's also gonna build up loyalty points in my merch store. Links are in the description for that. And for the fans that wanna go the extra mile, you can donate to me for absolutely free with Gawkbox. Check links in the description for that as well. Sayonara and stay epic, everybody.